What's up, family? This is Kuel talking with you once again. It's been a minute. I've been trying to dabble into some new ways to be able to better present my information and share it with the rest of the family. So, you know, I've been quiet, but I've been working while I've been quiet. So this will be a first of a series of videos that I'll start putting out. I figure since I've spent so much time studying about civics and law and all this stuff, I might as well just put this information out, you know, because I've pretty much got it down to a point now where I'm very, very comfortable. And when I say I'm comfortable, meaning that I'm myself. I'm in my natural state at all times. You know, there's never a minute during the day where I'm not in my natural, my proper person. And then I'm handling my business intelligently and also consciously. But a lot of that has to do with knowing your history, because the only way to know thyself is to know your history. And I'm not talking about his story. I'm talking about the mystery, which is my story. It's funny, they always call history his story, and the mystery is my story, because they set it up, when I say they, I mean the U.S. corporate fiction has set it up in a way where the majority, which is really what they call the minority people today, you know what I'm saying? Which is impossible, because there's way more melanated people on the planet than Europeans. That's fact. Why? Because we've been on the planet at least minimum over 100 million years more than the Europeans. Facts. So there's a whole lot of knowledge within our DNA that is sleeping, that is dormant, because we're not doing what we need to do to properly activate these channels within ourselves. All right? And the best way to stop us from doing that, unlocking our natural potential, and when I say natural potential, I'm talking about African people, melanated people, all right, sun people. These were the original sun worshippers. It's not that we sat there and worshiped the sun like a demon or a devil. We worship the sun because the sun is the sustainer of life. Facts. Common facts. All right? So we can't function on this planet without the sun. Plants can't grow without this sun. Trees can't grow. All right? Everything needs sunlight. So if you think a sun worshiper is something evil, then you on something really, really bad that you need to get off. All right? You need to turn away from sin. And if you truly know what the word sin means etymologically, you'll know that sin is simply ignorance. So turn from sin, because my people suffer for a lack of what? Knowledge. Information. You suffer because you don't know. And the only way to start knowing is to start with knowing thyself. Know your history. Know your family pedigree. Where you come from. We all, you know, us people over here, we're walking around calling ourselves black, Negro, colored. Where's the land that corresponds with that? You know what I'm saying? Because you could talk to any other national on the planet. If you're talking about a Korean person, you can trace them back to Korea. If you're talking about a Japanese person, you can trace them back to Japan. If you're talking about a Jamaican person, you can trace them back to Jamaica, Panamanian, Hawaiian, etc., etc. So where the black people at? Don't worry, I'll wait. Exactly. There's no land to correspond with black. There's no land that corresponds with colored. So we gotta stop the nonsense, man. We're grown adults acting like little children. Seriously, we're all over here playing the color game. Well, he's black, she's light skinned, they're green, red, yellow. Like, what the fuck? They're called adjectives. They describe something. They describe a noun. They are not the noun. I can't be black because I'm not an adjective. I'm a noun. So I would have to be a black what? Maybe a black more? Come on, y'all. It's real simple. It's just third grade shit. Third grade shit. You can't say you don't know now, because it's 2015. We're starting to get into the age of Aquarius, where the information is starting to come out. Things that were in the dark are coming into the light, and so you have no excuse now. It's either you know or you don't know, and if you know and you choose to ignore your inner self and ignore that truth, then you're going to suffer twice as much. Alright, the shit that this company over here called the United States is doing is fraud, and if you know that they're committing fraud and still choose to operate within their system, then guess what? You're also committing fraud. So how can you be in the right when you're in their system committing fraud right along with them? It don't make sense. But anyway, I've diversed long enough. So let's get into this PowerPoint. So I'd like to welcome you all to The Matrix. And if you haven't seen the movie The Matrix, you need to see it yesterday, because if you want to understand what's taking place within this system today in this time, then that movie will tell you raw and uncut exactly what's going down, and you just simply have to take it for what it is. And I'm talking about the whole trilogy. Watch 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Basic common facts. If you want to understand what the system is called the United States today, watch The Matrix. Alright, and I'm gonna break down why you should watch The Matrix and how that movie correlates with what's going on in the now. Oops. So, next slide. This woman here, her name is Margaret Thatcher. If you're familiar with Planned Parenthood, this is the founder and creator of that. Okay? If you don't know about her, you can check out a movie about her and her system or organization. The movie is called Birth Control. Pardon me. And a whole plethora of other organizations which were for the intention of wiping us out via abortions. That's why there's so many abortion clinics in the Moorish neighborhood. I'm not gonna call y'all black because y'all not black, so I'm gonna just call y'all what y'all are, Moors. You don't believe me? Look that shit up in the dictionary. Anyway, they're trying the extermination of Moors. Alright, they don't want us popping out kids because we are the dominant genes on the planet. They have the recessive genes, which is why they can't take the sun. Right? And I'm not trying to be insulting. This is science right now. Leave the emotions with the last video. This video is about facts. I'm not here to attack anyone or make anyone feel belittled or anything like that. I'm just talking science. So we need to learn to stop judging. Don't judge the information I'm giving you. Don't judge it. Just take it holistically and as it is, with no judgment. So pretty much the intentions are to depopulate Moors, alright, or melanated people or dark-skinned people of African descent. Africans. Their plan is to depopulate Africans. Point blank, period. And this is one of the big ladies in that, alright, and I'm going to show you a couple of quotes that came out of her mouth via interviews, alright? And the first one, as I read, we do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister of the church, that's why there's more churches on every corner, just like there is Chinese stores. I'm beginning to think there's more churches than actually liquor stores now. It's so crazy. You know what I'm saying? How many houses of God do you need? And there ain't really no work of God being done. Facts. Alright, we do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. She wants to exterminate the Negro population. That's the whole point of Planned Parenthood. Abortion, you know what I'm saying? They want to try to control how many kids you have. That's none of their fucking business, right? Anyway, and the minister, meaning your pastor, is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. Now let me tell you something about those more rebellious members. I can be classified as one of those more rebellious members. Because from their perspective, and I mean from the perspective of European eyes, they'll look at people like me and others as rebellious. When I look at people like myself and others who are doing the same work as motherfuckers with common sense. Alright? Common sense. What color is the dirt? Alright then. So that means that there's something I have in common with this planet. There's something you as an African have in common with this planet. Now check this. This is from another interview she had. Slaves, Latin, and Hebrew immigrants are human weeds and dead weight of human waste. Blacks, soldiers, and Jews are a menace to the race. Alright? So this is how people like her think about us, Africans. Now, I just want to give honors and respect, you know what I'm saying, out of all of the great leaders of the past who have come across the same type of information and tried to make strides towards fixing the problem. I resonate with my brother El Haj Malik El Shabazz the most. A lot of y'all know him as Malcolm X, but that wasn't his real name. Right? So I just want to give honors and respect, and his work is being continued. Now, we're going to break down the math and science of slavery, okay? Now, the math and science of slavery is real simple. Let's break it down. 1, a corporation. A corporation is derived from the word corpse. You can literally see the correlation within corporation and corpse, okay? There's a reason why there's a correlation, because a corporation is simply a dead entity, meaning it doesn't have life. It needs something with life to make it move, right? It's like Legos. The Legos ain't gonna build itself. The car ain't gonna drive itself. The stores are not going to make money or operate themselves. You need living, natural entities to move them. The same way when you put a flag up in front of a building, there's a non-seeable energy that makes that flag move and shimmer, okay? That was the true purpose of a flag, as a reminder that there's always an unseen force making things move and function, whether we're conscious of it or not. All right? So the corporation is a corpse. It's a dead body. Now, the United States is a corporation. And if you don't believe me on that fact, then you can look up the Organic Act of 1871. I repeat, grab your smartphone, open it up on Google, and type in the District of Columbia Organic Act of 1871. All right, I'm giving you references. Now, the United States Corporation, if we're looking at it in the matrix, it's Agent Smith. Agent Smith is the United States Corporation. All citizens of the United States are franchisees and subsidiaries. Okay? Because the United States is a corporation. So everything that comes out of the United States is also a corporation. It's also a business. All right? And so if you look in the matrix, okay, the people who are unaware of that they're in the matrix, the agents or Agent Smith, he can be any one of those people. So potentially all of those people, right, are Agent Smith. They're all United States citizens. So Agent Smith can transfer his position to any one of those citizens, no matter where they are. A person holding their bag, a person in the kitchen cooking, you know what I'm saying, a person on the phone. They can transform. Why? Because they're all citizens. Okay? Now, black, colored, and Negro are brand names. How do we know they're brand names? Let's think about this. Let's just break this shit down in common sense. We know for a fact that Christopher Columbus did not discover shit. Why did he not discover shit? Because there was people here already. There was governments established here already. in the Americas. Okay? Those people that they call indigenous and Indians look like Africans because they were Africans. Dark, melanated, kinky-haired motherfuckers. That was us. We was watching Columbus get off the motherfucking boat. Okay? So there's no way in the world our last name can be Smith, Jones, Johnson, Freddie, Douglas. These are all European names. They're not African names. You go to Africa right now, you ain't gonna meet no motherfucking Africans with a Smith, Jones, and Johnson name. Okay? So if they're in the original land and you can't even see a common ground, all right? So if I was to go to Africa today as and in the status of a U.S. citizen, right, with a last name of Smith, Jones, and Johnson, I go to Africa, I see an African who looks just like me, dark like me, and his last name is something indigenous, resonating from his tribe, and my name is Johnson. He's looking at me like, nigga, you crazy. Okay? It don't work like that. Now let's move on. The Social Security number. The Bible talks all day about the mark of the beast. Everyone knows about the mark of the beast, talking about chip in your under your skin. That's not the mark of the beast. In terms of slavery. Because the real 666 is just science. 666. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. It makes up an atom. Okay? So if you really get down to the root of it, an atom is the mark of the beast. Now, in terms of this Babylonian system, because Babylon never fell, right? The Social Security number is the prisoner number within the corporate illusion, known as the Matrix. Okay? So your Social Security number is the mark of the beast. How do I know? Because they trace everything you do by your Social Security number. Everything. And if you look clearly on the Social Security information, it lets you know that that card is not your property. It's the property of the United States. And if at any time they ask for it back, you have to give them back their shit because it don't belong to you. Okay? Now, a democracy is the matrix or the machine world. Alright? So the democracy is the matrix. Everyone over here talking about democracy. Alright? This is not a democracy. This is a republic. Wherever you at, whatever state you're in right now is a republic. It is not a democracy. A democracy is for corporate law. And if you really understood the etymology of words, you would understand what a democracy is. Okay? A demo. D-E-M-O. People know that shit as a demo. Hey, you know, I'm an artist. I'm going to put together a demo. Demo. Demon. Democracy. Okay? So demo is demon. And cracy is society. So guess what? If you're saying that yes, you agree to be in a democracy, what you're agreeing is to be part of a society run by demons. Thus the term democracy, or the matrix or machine world. Okay? The republic is Zion. You know, in the matrix, when they would leave the matrix, when they would step out of the matrix, they would go home to Zion. Okay? And in Zion, that was what you would call the natural world, the organic world, where organic law rules. Okay? The republic. So the republic is Zion. Now, Neo had two personas within the first movie of The Matrix. At night, he was a computer computer hacker, a programmer known as Neo. Okay? So that's him in his natural person, or his propria persona, his proper person, all right? Sui juris. That means by organic law. You know what I'm saying? By your blood. Sui juris. By law. Alright? You're in your proper person by law. And when it says by law, it's meaning by your blood. Because your blood determines who you are. That's why it says in the good book, honor thy mother and thy father, so that thy days on thy earth, so that thy days on the earth may be long and plentiful. It's not talking about your current mother and father now. It's talking about your forefathers and your foremothers, your ancestors. The time has changed. Physical features have changed. But the blood doesn't change. Whether it's in use or not, those genes, that DNA coding is still the same today. So your nature can't be changed. Alright? So Neo was himself. That is his natural person. Who he is. His national origin. Neo. He was in his natural person. Now during the day, he worked in a big, corporate America. He went by the name Thomas Anderson. Okay? So Thomas Anderson is another persona of Neo, which is the U.S. citizen or the subject citizen, the corporate citizen. And it's amazing because the first scene within that corporate building was when he was standing there in front of his boss, and his boss was chewing his ass up. Okay? So the first image they show you within that corporate America when Neo is Thomas Anderson. When he's acting as Thomas Anderson, he's in subjugation. He's subject. Alright? Because the boss is letting him know, hey, you've been late. You know what I'm saying? Keep fucking around, I'm going to fire your ass. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much master and slave type relationship. So that's the first scene that you get once they take you into that building where he's working at. Alright? Corporate America, U.S. citizen. Alright? And he's belittling him. He's not talking to him as a human being. He's talking to him like he's less of a human being. 3/5 of a human being. Alright? And that is called color of law. Color of law. You see, if you look up in Black's Law Dictionary, alright? Color is something artificial. This is why I said previously that color is not how you want to do it, okay? We can't go around calling ourselves black, white, red, yellow, green, purple. We're talking artificial. We're not talking about natural things. Artificial things don't have life. Something artificial is a corpse. It's a corporation. Artificial things don't have life. They can't speak. They're not a part of nature. They're not a part of God or the Creator's kingdom. So they don't have no rights on the land because they don't know who they are. They forgot that they're spirits made in the image of the Creator. Simple. Okay? Color of law, artificial. Alright? Adoptee. Because when the United States was first created, alright, Africans weren't allowed to be U.S. citizens. You know why? Because the United States was created just for the Europeans and their posterity, their future generations. They didn't create that for Africans. Why? Because Africans already had their own empire here in the Americas. Thus, Christopher Columbus discovered that there was motherfuckers here already. Okay? So this is why once we became U.S. citizens, we're adoptees. We got adopted into it. Because we weren't organically made for it. So let's go into this right here. Alright. Hold on. Let me see here. Don't need that right now. Okay. Pangea. Of course, if you can trace back the study of tectonic plates or the history of the Earth, that the continents were at one point at one. Okay? And this is known, according to the dates, ranging about 200 million years ago, that the continents were all one, and they were all known as Pangea. They were all known as Pangea. Alright? And if you really pay attention, I want you to see, because you see this middle piece right here? Y'all all know this is Africa. Okay? Everyone knows this is Africa right here. Africa. And if you look right here, this is North America. This is South America. This is about Europe and Asia. This is Asia over here. You know what I'm saying? You'll have Australia over here, Antarctica, okay? So this is about, according to this section, and I have two different charts because I wanted you guys to be able to see the comparison. I'm not really worried too much about the numbers. I'm more worried about the comparison of how you can see that the puzzle fits. All right? So as we're going down the timeline, I'm just going according to here. 225 million years ago, the land masses were all one, okay? All one. 200 million years ago, you can see that the land masses are beginning to split apart, okay? You start going to 135 million years, you can see them beginning to form now. And as you keep progressing, you see them starting to form a little bit more and more until you get what we have today, which is South America, North America, Africa, Asia, Australia. All right, and you can go back and check this out and just start doing your own studies as to. So once you understand that the landmass was one, this whole shit was called Africa. All right, so we never left Africa. We're still on Africa. We're on Northwest Africa. Africa's here. Remember, it was one. So this is Africa. So this is Northwest Africa. North America. This would be Southwest Africa. Okay? And this is when the continents began to shift. So understand, when it comes to energy, distance does not separate the connection that energy has. It's still connected. So just because the landmass is separated by water now doesn't make them less Africa than you think. So people are talking about they want to get on a plane and go visit Africa. You don't know yourself. You don't know where you come from, because then you would know that you're still on Africa. You're on North Africa, Northwest Africa. Let's move on. So this is what would be called Northwest Amexem, which is the indigenous name for the land that we call today, is known today, what people think is the country, United States. Okay, United States, once again, is a corporation, it's not the country. All right, so the organic name of that land is called Amexem. Amexem. All right. So this is pretty much a bigger display of what I was talking about before. You can see the connection between the land masses, and this is what they look like today. First off, I just want to give respects to CM Bay, PhD, 33rd and 360 degree Master Mason, Free Moorish Master Astrologer, and a Moorish Constitution Lawgiver. You know what I'm saying? Always be on your square. All right. And I appreciate him for his works and the organizations that I'm establishing now. I'm carrying on those works according to the Moorish Constitution, which I don't think you can get anything better than that. All right. So here we have Morocco. Okay, which is on, and according to the last slide, right? I just want you to see. So Morocco would be here. Okay. So if we know that the land masses were all connected, then you would have to know that Morocco was a whole lot bigger than this little portion right here. You would also realize that this is known as the Empire of Morocco. Okay? So because the land masses are separated now, you're thinking these are two different continents. They're all the same continent. It was all one continent. All right? So you're standing on Morocco. Okay? Which is in where? Africa. Does that make sense? Africans? If you're trying to understand your birthright and you don't know what this is, you ain't serious about your shit. All right? Islam. Thyself, law, and master. And this will be my last slide for this first portion of series. But I just want to end with this right here. You know, and this is pretty much the motto that I'm living by. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You know what I'm saying? Respects to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. There's a quote here that I must say I hold really close to my heart because I know it's the truth. It's the truth. And that is, any group of people must answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and by principle. Remember that. By name and by principle. Not as Smith, Jones, Jonathan, Scott. All right, these are not African names. So if you're not in your proper person according to your name that matches along with your bloodline and your heritage, you're out of order. You're not going according to standard principles of law. Why? Because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name. Because they place their trust upon issue and names formed by their forefathers. For instance, us today, we're not physically there when our ancestors signed the treaties. So how would we be able to be identified today if those ancestors who were originally there to sign those treaties are no longer here? You would know, or you would recognize them by their name, by their national descent. All right, know thyself. Who are you? Where do you come from? What role do you have on the history of this planet? How far back do you go? Because I'll tell you what, if you could go back all through history, you ain't gonna find no civilization of black people anywhere who did anything. They don't exist. They don't exist. So if you're claiming to be black, what you're saying is you have no history here. You're artificial. You're a figment of motherfuckers' imagination. And since you're not real, they can do whatever they want to you. They can do whatever they want to you. And they can kill people and shoot people in the streets and not get any type of consequence for it. Why? Because they're not killing human beings. They're killing artificial people. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you know, you're talking all this. I understand it makes sense. But, you know, this is not going to be enough to win the war. I'm not ignorant of that fact. But it seems that we have forgotten that when it came to warfare, we didn't just use war tactics. We used war and we used magic. Or what you would call voodoo. Or voodoo, alright? We weren't just all about weapons and going in there and just killing. No, we had a variety of ways of warfare. This is why when Europeans would come and conquer and we made up our minds that we're going to die fighting, they couldn't fuck with us. Okay? We knew so much knowledge. Poisonous herbs, poisonous venoms, how to put elixirs together, how to make weapons with the poison on them, son. Catapults that shoot balls of fire. Where do you think they got that idea from? Hello? Where do you think they got that idea from? We were masters of the elements, all right? We were the master alchemists. So yes, magic was a big part of our warfare. So if you can reflect that in today's time, the magic is the word, all right? The magic comes from your mind. If I can put words on paper and make mountains move, nigga, that's magic. I ain't have to shed no blood. I just spoke my will into existence. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that we don't need the military aspects of it. Of course we do. You're damn right we need our military. But don't think for a second that you don't need your scientists. Don't think for a second you don't need your you don't need your strategists. Don't think for a second you don't need your builders. The people who are willing to go across the fence to see what's on the other side when everyone else is too scared to take that first step. Don't take them for granted, because they're willing to do what you're not willing to do. And then once we come back, we're willing to dispense the information to you. My payment is you adding this shit to your life. And I'm not asking you to adhere to Islam or be a Moor. I'm trying to tell you basic constitutional principles. Take the more out of it. Like I said, you form what you form. You see what I'm forming here? Sunel Republic. That's the organization I'm forming. But don't think for a second I don't know my pedigree or my history. Just because I change the name doesn't mean that makes me less of a Moor. I'm a Moor because of my blood, not because of the names I attach to. The whole point of evolution is to take the information and upgrade it, update it, take it further than what it was able to do. So once again, this will be first series of plenty of videos coming. So I hope you guys got some good info for this. If you do have any questions or any type of comments, please leave them in the comments. I will answer all questions. I don't mind answering questions. All right. The best thing we can do, or the best compliment you can give to the creator, is to ask questions. The best compliment you can give to the creator is to ask questions. Is to constantly want to search, constantly want to know. That's the best compliment you can give. And with that being said, peace family. See you next time.